Hi, I welcome you to this video. In this video, I'll be sharing with you psychological principles that can really help you to enhance, to increase your closing rate if you're somebody who's selling any kind of services out there in the market. Specifically, let's suppose if you're a coach, consultant, or a trainer, or anyone, any kind of an expert who's selling services out there in the market for which you basically invite your prospects on a strategy call, on a sales call, or maybe on a consultation call, or you can also call it as a discovery call, then this video is going to be very relevant for you. Whatever content that I'm going to give you today, whatever principles that I'm going to share with you today, all of them came from my own experience. I've taken more than like 2000 strategy calls so far, where I've learned multiple things, and all of these things are directly coming from them. All these principles, I'm going to tell you are going to be psychological principles. Although tactics are important, techniques are important, all of these things are important, but these psychological principles will actually give you an extra edge if you're utilizing it, if you're understanding it, and if you're learning the psychology behind it. All right, so let's just get started. Before that, if you're somebody who's struggling to scale your coaching and consulting business, well, I have something really great for you. All you need to do is check the link in the description section and you'll get to know more about it. Okay, so let's just get started with the very first principle. I've written it down. People always buy with emotion and then try to justify it with logic. You might have heard it, but let me tell you with one example and also with my own experience. So, people always buy with emotion and then try to justify it with logic. For example, let's suppose when you go to a shopping, telling you with my own personal experiences. When you go to a shopping, you take a budget of like, you decide that I'll go and I'll make the shopping of around 10,000. But when it comes back, most probably what happens is you end up buying 13, 14,000 or anywhere, something beyond than what you have actually decided when you wanted to go. Why it happens? It happens because when you went there, something you really liked, okay, although you have crossed your budget, but it made you feel good, you have become emotional and you have bought that thing. So at that point of time, you made your decision emotionally. But when you come back, this is what I do. I usually ask my mom, is it really worth it that I've spent this much amount of money on this XYZ thing? I ask her, what am I doing? I'm trying to justify it with logic. But when I've already made the decision wherever I went for the shopping. So what I'm trying to tell you is you can relate it to yourself also, okay? We always buy, most of the people always buy with emotion and try to justify it with logic. So what becomes important for you is that you need to understand what makes them emotional. That is really, really important. So if you are having a strategy call or a discovery call, your intention behind that call is to also understand what are their emotional triggers, what makes them emotional. Okay, first principle. Second principle is all about people only buy for two reasons, either to get rid of the pain or to fulfill the unfulfilled desire. Okay, they only buy for two things. For example, take a look in your room, see whatever stuff you could see. You bought it just for two reasons, either to get rid of the pain or to fulfill the unfulfilled desire. For example, the fan. I bought it just to get rid of the pain of temperature. Makes sense? So that's the same scenario. So it becomes very much crucial for you. You need to understand what are their unfulfilled desire, what do they want to achieve in their future. And second thing is that the pain points. And one more thing is there, people will always have more intensity towards taking decision when it comes to getting rid of the pain as compared to fulfilling the unfulfilled desire. What I mean by that is, let me just give you quickly an hypothetical example. For example, let's suppose there's one person who is suffering from a kidney stone. Okay, a doctor has suggested that you have to operate it like next in 2 3 days. And he also has a desire with the same amount of money that he wanted to buy a bike of his, dream. What he will do, he'll basically go for the surgery, right? For the operation, right? Because curing that pain is way more important than getting that XYZ bike. So what I'm trying to tell you is that people are more intense towards taking decision when it comes to pain points. So give priority to understanding their pain point. That's why I always say that business is all about solving a problem. So you need to solve a problem. So again, coming back to the principle, people just buy for two reasons, either to get rid of the pain or to fulfill the unfulfilled desire. So what you understood, you need to understand about their pain points and their unfulfilled desire when you are there on the strategy call. And by the way, these are the two reasons which make the other person more emotional. Coming back to tying this up to principle number one. So these two principles. Then there comes third principle. Let me see, I've written it down. It's basically about the call command. Okay. Whoever will be asking questions, whoever will be asking multiple questions in the call will have the command of the call. And whoever will be having the command of the call who wins at the end. If you are a coach, you went over there, you're talking to your prospect, the call is all about, first of all, before telling you this principle, let me tell you one more. The strategy call, the consultation call, whatever call that you can call it, it's all about them. It's not about you. It's not about your services. It's all about them. Understanding their problems, their pain points, their unfulfilled desire, which I've already talked about. So all of these principles are interlinked. Okay. So the call is all about them. So you have to speak less. I'll just give you a data like, you have to speak like approximately just 30%, 40% of the call, rest they will speak. They'll talk more about themselves. You have to create that safe space so that they could open up to you. They could answer to all of your questions. Okay. That is the principle number three. Principle number one, people always buy with emotion and try to justify it with logic. Second one is people only have two reasons to purchase. They only make decisions for two things, either to get rid of the pain or to fulfill the unfulfilled desire. Third thing is basically strategy call, whatever call that you can call, it's not about you, it's all about them. You need to understand, you have to allow them to talk. Then there comes fourth principle, I would say, that is this one, call command. So if you want to be in the command of that particular call, because you know that whoever is going to be in the command is going to win, so make sure that you are asking the question and the other person is actually speaking. Okay. But what happens is sometimes when you basically ask a question, sometimes you get a counter question. If that counter question is related to the context of the call in which like, let's suppose at that moment of time, you were you were telling about XYZ thing, they're asking question about the same thing. It's completely fine. You can answer. But if they are asking something which is completely out of the context, then at that point of time, you simply need to tell them. You don't need to answer. If you're answering, you're giving the command to them. Whoever is asking, will be asking question, will be in the command. So you don't have to do that. And then after that, if you answer, they'll try to dominate. All of these things happen, telling you with my own experience. So you need to make sure that you are in command, that you are asking question, they are answering it. So let's suppose if somebody asks you, simply need to tell them politely, well, I really appreciate that you have this particular question. Well, is it okay if I answer this question at the last? Or else you can simply say that, I appreciate your question. I would like to answer this question at the last. I hope that's completely okay. Or I have a Q&A session at the last. You can ask me a couple of questions, whatever you have. You can just note it down. You can ask at the last. Okay, that's how you can go about it. So fourth principle, what I told you, call command. Fifth one is it's really important. Your personality or anyone's personality is not being judged by the kind of answer they give, but it's judged by the kind of questions they ask. It is so true. Like, and that's why it becomes very much important for you because I said that the call is all about the other person. And if you want to make this call about all about them, you need to ask right questions at the right point of time. And that's why it becomes very much important for you to understand this principle. Your personality is being judged by the kind of questions you ask. So you need to be very particular when it comes to asking questions over a call. Okay. So that's the thing. Then there comes principle number five or six. I'm not sure you counted, which is basically 70% of sales objection or the objection that you'll be getting after you pitch your services, after you quote your pricing at the last of the call. 70% of all of those objections are not real objections. They are fake objections. There's always something hidden behind it. So you need to understand that. If you really want to close that sale, want to address that particular real objection, for that you need to understand it. So principle is basically 70% of objection are not real objections. So you need to understand what is the real objection behind that. And how you can do that? You simply need to agree to the objection that they've raised, even if it is faced. Well, that's completely fine. I totally understand. And you have to say, is there any other reason which will, let's suppose, for example, somebody says that I can't afford it. I can't afford it, Bhushan. In that case, you just need to agree to it. The very first thing is you need to agree to it. Well, I completely understand. Okay, you might have been going through challenges, and I totally understand you having a lot of things in your plate and you're having a lot of responsibilities. So I completely understand. But let me just ask you one thing quickly. if I keep money aside, if we sort out that problem, money problem or affordability problem, is there any other reason which will hold you back from getting into my coaching program? Just go it like this. And if there is, they'll open up, they'll tell you the real objection. If there's not, then you can address the first objection. Okay. If you want to know how to address in all of those things, you can simply send me a message on my Instagram. I'll give you a complete script of all of that. Instagram handle is Bhushan100x, Bhushan100x. That is principle number 5 or 6. I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't count it. Then there comes next principle, that is strategy call is not always about the techniques, script, the tactics that you use, the smart play that you do. It's not all about that. The strategy call is also about the kind of confidence you show on a call, the kind of energy you have, the kind of honesty you shows, basically, the kind of tonality you have. All of these things matters a lot, matters a lot. Uh, there are people out there who are really good at what they have been doing, but when it comes to all of these things, I feel their struggles because all of these things doesn't get into that. Most of my clients usually says that whenever I enroll them, most of my clients, they don't even ask for testimonial, they don't even ask for what clients I've worked with. Sometimes they don't even do that. They just go with their gut feeling. And when I ask why is it so, they basically tells that it's all about energy, it's all about vibe, it's all about tonality, it's all about the confidence that you have, Bhushan. That is the thing. So you also need to work upon all of these things. So it's not just always about scripts. I've seen people who follow tremendous scripts, but they still don't get the results. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, these are certain principles that I wanted to share with all of you. Just implement it. Okay, just implement it, execute it. It's a major part of your calls. I'm telling you, just implement it. If you're facing any kind of difficulties, again, you have my Instagram handle. You can reach out to me over there. But yeah, next time I'll come up with again wonderful video on sales and marketing. If you want to, if you want me to create any particular video on any particular topic, you can just let me know in the comment section. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If any question, you can reach out to me. Thank you so much. Yeah.